Hello my loves and welcome back to the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm killing two birds with one stone at the moment. I'm recording this on audio for Spotify, for podcasts, and I'm also recording a video for YouTube so that you can either, depending on how you like to consume content, you can have me in your ears while you're driving or walking, or if you're someone who prefers to watch YouTube videos, then you can watch me whilst you're at the gym doing your cardio, or whilst you're just chilling, or however you want to consume video. But if you're new here, my name is Amy and I am an evidence-based nutritionist and women's health and well-being and fat loss coach. I actually wear so many hats and helps women in so many different ways that it's hard to introduce myself, because there's so many things that I help women with, from fat loss to improving the health, to improving the hormones, to building muscle, to reverse dieting, to just becoming healthier, improving the relationship with food, the relationship with the body. So I actually wear a lot of hats and I help women in a lot of different ways. It's hard to actually give myself a title to exactly what I do. But if you're wondering why you should even listen to me, then I just want to let you know that you're in good hands here. Like, an evidence-based nutritionist basically means that everything that I share on this platform is backed by science and the latest research. So there's no nonsense here. There's no bullshit. Everything is factual, so that you can trust the information that I am putting out. And today's episode is a bit of a personal one, guys. I actually shared something on socials the other day, and it was something that I wasn't going to share because I felt very vulnerable to do that, and I was also worried that it was going to affect how I looked or how I was perceived by people, and also worried that would it affect business, would people want to work with me because it makes me look weak. But then I just thought, no, do you know what, I've got a platform, and one of my biggest things has always been to show up and share my journey, so that if it helps one person, then I've done my job. And I feel like Instagram is just a highlight reel, and hardly any of it's real anymore. Everything is edited, everything has got a filter on it, and it can be a place of comparison and leave you feeling a bit crap after you've been on it. And I just thought, you know what, if I can show up with it with a bit of realness and a bit of rawness, then it's going to make me feel better. Because if I didn't do that, I'd feel like I was putting a mask on and I was showing up and I wasn't being authentic and I wasn't being genuine, which doesn't feel good to me. I always like to live in alignment with being my true authentic self, and if I didn't share it, then I wouldn't feel that way. And also I genuinely felt like that how I was feeling, I couldn't be alone in that, and it must have been so many other women that felt like that too. So I decided to share it, and I was so overwhelmed with the response that I got to this post. And if you haven't seen it, or you want to go and find it, it was about I shared a post that I was really struggling lately, and this post discussed burnout, dysregulated nervous system, and how I've been struggling. So I'll touch on that briefly before we get into today's episode. So the last if you don't know who I am, then I've got a daughter. She's 2.5 now. My partner, he works away on the oil rigs up in Aberdeen, and he's away for 3 to 4 weeks at a time. So I solo parent a lot of the time, which also means I juggle looking after our daughter, I juggle the house. We've recently moved, so I don't actually have a lot of friends and family close by, so I do a lot of it on my own all of the time without seeing a soul for a long time. It's just me and Hallie, apart from when she goes to nursery 2 days a week. And then on top of that is just the house, and any woman listening to this will just know the juggle of doing everything is real, such as staying on top of cleaning, staying on top of cooking, staying on top of the washing, whilst looking after yourself and getting yourself physically and mentally fit and feeling good and feeling confident. It's a lot. And I got to the point of burnout a couple of weeks ago, and my body had been sending me signs of burnout and red flags for weeks, maybe months prior to this happening, and I ignored them all. Like, my body was just waking up and I was constantly exhausted no matter how much sleep I had. I always felt so stressed, and like I was constantly like at capacity and just at the trigger point. Everything felt overwhelming to me. I was so forgetful. I couldn't remember anything. I was missing appointments. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't think clearly. I had no energy whatsoever, and I'd stopped finding joy in a lot of things. Like, I couldn't connect to anything I just had. I didn't feel anything. I was flat. I didn't care about anything either. It was just, I had nothing left to give. And what began to happen was, well, at first, so it started signaling that I got all these signs that I needed to rest, and I had just ignored it, because this is modern day motherhood. Like, we should be able to do it all and look like we can do it all with a smile on our face. Otherwise, because that's what modern day motherhood and hustle culture, or the world that we live in right now, want us to think that we can. And in all honesty, I was just drowning in it. But I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning before the baby. I was getting ahead, getting on top of the washing, because I thought that's what'll make me feel better. I'm feeling overwhelmed because I'm not on top of things. So if I get up earlier, then that'll allow me to get a workout in. It'll allow me to get on top of the washing. Allow me to I can prep them food for the day. But then I was getting up after broken sleep, running on 4 or 5 hours. Then I was training. Then I was dieting. I'd recently done a photo shoot prep as well, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best thing to do. But I didn't realise how burnt out I actually was until after the photo shoot. But I was showing up and I was having cans of Monster and just cracking on with things. So any tiredness I was feeling, I was like, right, coffee, Monster, let's just crack on, let's get it done, because that's how I felt like a strong mum should be, and she should show up. But in reality, I was just ignoring all these signs that my body was signalling to me, like, please give me rest. Like, and I was like, and obviously I've been dieting, so I was ignoring all my hunger cues. And then the last few months, my cycle has been really irregular as well. So it went from, like, I was someone who didn't have a cycle for 5 years, and then I managed to get them back. It took me 2 years working on my health and lifestyle changes to get them back, and managed to get them back. But during that time, I suffered like terribly with like PMDD symptoms, and the only thing that would help during my luteal phase, when I was waiting to come on, was having acupuncture. Because what was happening was, let's say when I was due to come on, say day 38 to day 35 of my cycle, I was having these like intense PMS symptoms that were just debilitating. Like, they were taking over my life. I couldn't get out of bed, I couldn't brush my teeth. Like, I was absolutely floored by them, and I had the worst intrusive thoughts, worst low moods. And I remember saying to Mum, like, this must be what depression feels like. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I genuinely feel like I'm gonna die. It was the most horrible thing I've ever experienced, but I've been experiencing it lately as well. And we went to doctors, and the doctors were like, you need to go on the pill, you need to go on antidepressants. And I was like, no, like, I'm someone, and like, I have a holistic approach to everything, and I believe that like we can heal ourselves 90% of the time through our behaviours with our nutrition and our lifestyle and how we take care of our bodies. And anyway, managed to get them back, managed to get my cycle back to around 30 days. Acupuncture was just a lifesaver to me. So I worked with a girl called Kate, the Cheshire acupuncturist, and her knowledge with hormones is just next level. And yeah, we got my periods back, we reduced all my PMS symptoms, and I was having a nice healthy cycle, and then I got pregnant. I got pregnant after being told that I couldn't have children and I probably have to have IVF. Got pregnant after 9 months of being with Jake, and then Hallie came along and my periods were all fine up until a few months ago, and I've started experiencing like the irregular cycles again. So now they're like 49 days apart, and the 2 weeks in my long luteal phase is just hell. Like, them horrendous PMDD symptoms that I've listed, just irrational thoughts, irrational behaviour that's affecting my relationship with my partner. I'm lucky that my partner understands and knows what's going on, so he's so supportive. But obviously when he's away and I'm juggling the house and Hallie, that then is just too much for my mind and my body. And what happened a couple of weeks ago is, let me just continue talking about my hormones a second, but this, and then all the intrusive thoughts, the low mood, the low energy, just like I was literally on the couch in my mum's because I couldn't get up. I was like, I am absolutely exhausted. I don't know what's wrong with me, like horrendous migraines, like to the point where I couldn't open my eyes, and just carrying this big dark cloud. And I'm naturally like a bubbly, like optimistic, positive, like energy giving person, and I am not that person when that is happening. When I'm going through that, I'm the complete opposite. And then when I come on, it's like this big cloud lifts and I'm like, wow, I am back in the room. I don't know where I've been. So that's what I've been experiencing lately, and this can be, the reason I'm mentioning this now is because this can be very interlinked with signs of burnout and also a dysregulated nervous system, like more intense, more like irregular periods, like especially when your body's under a lot of stress, it can massively affect your menstrual cycle. And I think this has been what's playing out massively within my body, and that's why my periods have been affected so much. So I wanted to do a podcast on this because I feel like it's something that so many women are just struggling with, and you don't have to struggle. There is another way, and I want to share with you what burnout looks like, what a dysregulated nervous system looks like, and what you can do to basically heal from burnout or regulate your nervous system, or be able to like manage things better to reduce the overwhelm, and also manage things in a way that allows you to still achieve your goals and feel good in yourself, but without burning yourself out. And I think there's a fine line between it all, and it's so hard. And I feel like we've fought so hard and so long for women to have women's rights and freedom, and I've been reflecting on this loads lately, and I feel like it's come to bite us on the bum a little bit, because we're all drowning. Like, modern day motherhood is, I just don't feel like it's something that we're designed for. Like, hustle culture has us believe that it's like we can do it all, we should be able to do it all, and we can do it all with a smile on our face and push harder, achieve more, be more ambitious, whilst wearing the hat of the primary caregiver, managing the house, the chef, the cleaner, the laundress. Like, we wear so many hats, and we're expected to still hustle and achieve like men, but then we have no outlet from the other things either. And it's like, where's the balance in that? And also, women aren't designed like men. Like, men are just, they have one hormone and it just stays the same, and that's how the world is. Like, because men can just go and probably not really reach burnout because they're not carrying all the mental load that we are. Whereas women, we're cyclical, so how we feel and what we need from week to week changes. Some weeks when we're ovulating in our follicular phase and in a spring, summer, whatever you want to call it, but that's when we're like, we've got natural energy, and we're like, we can push, we can go, and we can achieve, and we're happy and we're social. And then coming into our luteal phase, especially our late luteal phase part of our cycle, that is when a lot of women want to soften. Like naturally, it's like we want to naturally slow down, our body's preparing for our bleeds, and that requires energy. And like pushing against that sometimes when your body's signaling, please just give me some rest, is what can add to this, to burnout, dysregulated nervous system. So in today's podcast, I want to share with you tips to be able to tune into your body and start listening to it and giving it what it needs. And also, like, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just making excuses by doing this, and that was me. I was like, I know, but it's just an excuse because I can push on and I can like do this workout, or I can go for this walk and get my steps in, or I can get up early, whatever it might be. It's just mind over matter. But then there's a big difference between like pushing and doing hard things, but then pushing into like pain and like that sort of David Goggins mindset kind of behaviour, and leading to burnout and leading to these things that I've been struggling with. And I am definitely on the other side of it now. So the past few weeks I've been working with a therapist, and we've been doing, she's a breathwork trauma informed coach, and she does like a lot of somatic work with the body, so it's helping like find the trauma where it's stored in the body and release it. So there's a lot of things I'm working on as well, like, so from when this is a whole other podcast in itself about things that happened to me years ago and overcoming them kind of traumas and releasing them, and noticing my patterns and my behaviours and unravelling them. So I've been working a lot with her to uncover these things, unravel these things, and also guiding my body into like an actual state of calm, which has been very hard because my body hasn't wanted to do that because it hasn't known how to do that, which has been so interesting to witness. And then also tips on regulating my nervous system, which I'll give you these on today's podcast as well. I've also been working with a yin yoga therapist who's also a trauma-informed yoga therapist. So she's been working with me again to help me slow down, allow my body to feel safe, relaxed, calm, and also she give me so much wisdom as well, which I'll share with you. And I've just massively reduced everything. Like, I've just focused on what is a priority right now. And the last 2 weeks it's been purely rest. I've took my ring off. I took it off, but I've got it back on today. So I haven't been tracking steps. I haven't been working out. I've been focusing on just things that are going to calm my body. So sleep, rest, good quality nutrition, like eating at maintenance calories, making sure I'm having lots of healthy fats in there, lots of warm, hearty, comforting, nourishing meals that are going to give me a lot of vitamins and nourishment. Just really taking care of myself. And it hasn't been like a big overhaul, and this is something my therapist shared with me. She said you just try and reduce, like slow down by like 2%, and that can be, rather than like overhauling things hugely, it's more about like the small changes that we can make throughout the day that have like a compound effect and a ripple effect. So she said to me, like, rather than rushing around getting everything done, like for example, I will be someone who's cooking the tea while doing the dishes, whilst getting Hallie's bag ready. I was doing like 5 different things at once and wondering why I was stressed and overwhelmed and snappy. So she said, just be present with exactly what you're doing and slow down. Like, rather than being so fast paced, just slow down. Even when you get in the shower, just be with yourself in the shower, be present, and like make every movement nice and slow and intentional, rather than washing yourself dead fast and then getting out and drying yourself dead fast. Like, just slow down. There's no need to rush like that. And if that's probably been the best advice and the best thing I could have done, to be honest, just slowing everything that I'm doing down and actually like breathing, rather than just being rushing around everywhere. So let's get into today's episode then. That was a little bit of a backstory. So burnout. Burnout is something that so many people experience, especially when juggling work, family and personal goals, but it often creeps up before we fully realise what's happening. And here's what it can look and feel like. So burnout can look like struggling to focus or concentrate, missing deadlines or making mistakes you wouldn't usually make, feeling detached or disconnected from things you normally cared about, putting off tasks because everything just feels overwhelming, withdrawing socially, avoiding plans or conversations, running on autopilot and just getting through the day without feeling present. And what burnout feels like is just constantly exhausted. No matter how much you've slept, you're still waking up feeling like you haven't had enough sleep, feeling emotionally flat, numb or on edge, easily irritated or frustrated by small things. Like everything's just too much, even like the simplest of tasks. And I remember even for me, like even like washing the dishes or brushing my teeth, I was like, I physically cannot be bothered. I haven't even got the energy to do it. No motivation or enthusiasm for things that you used to enjoy. Anxiety, dread, sense of failure, and physical signs like headaches, tension, digestive issues, disrupted sleep, not being able to sleep or not being able to stay asleep. They're signs as well. And burnout isn't just feeling tired, it's a deeper sense of physical, mental and emotional depletion. So if this resonates with you, it might be time to pause, reassess and start building in rest support and small changes to help you recover. And something else that like I really felt when I was at burnout was I felt like I think I can feel my central nervous system, and I felt like my insides were just constantly like vibrating. I just felt like I was just like I had the jitters constantly, and just so on edge and just couldn't breathe. Like felt like I could never take like a deep breath. I felt like I was constantly talking like that because I was just so overwhelmed, and everything just felt a lot. Like the smallest things, it was just everything just felt too much. And now I'm going to speak about a dysregulated nervous system, because burnout and a dysregulated nervous system, they are connected in a way, but they are two completely different things. So a dysregulated nervous system happens when your body's stress response system gets stuck in overdrive or sometimes shuts down completely. And this is exactly what happened to me, which was actually really frightening. Like I actually hit collapse and I couldn't get off the couch a couple of times, and I think 3 times it happened, twice in the house and also once when I was in my mum's. And it was like I was having an out of body experience. It was like I wanted to get up and I wanted to carry on and do what I needed to do, but I physically couldn't. And like it was like I was aware of my surroundings but I was asleep. It was like if you've ever had sleep paralysis, that's what it was like. And then this also shown up in therapy for me as well. So like this pattern that I was experiencing with the shutdown, my body done that also in the therapy session as well, which was showing us like how sort of dysregulated my nervous system was and what it was always going back to for that sense of, I don't know what it was going back for, to be honest, but to rest maybe, but meaning that you struggle to return to a calm, balanced state after stress. And it's like your body's constantly on high alert, or it can be the opposite, just like completely flat and just completely shut down and just don't care about anything. But if you are on high alert, even when there's literally like no immediate threat, like that's not nice living like that. And it can feel different for everyone. Like having a dysregulated nervous system can feel completely different from person to person, but the common signs is feeling constantly on edge, anxious or easily overwhelmed, mood swings like swinging between irritable, tearful or numb, struggling to cope with small stresses that wouldn't normally bother you, like you just don't have the capacity or the tolerance for anything. Physically feeling like racing heart, shallow breathing, tight chest, trouble sleeping, either can't fall asleep or you're waking up feeling exhausted, digestive issues, nausea, bloating, IBS type symptoms, muscle tension, headaches, jaw clenching. Mentally, you could have like brain fog, struggling to focus, struggling to put like sentences together and articulate yourself, feeling like scatty, forgetful, or like you just can't switch off, you're just constantly switched on. Constantly replaying conversations or worries in your head and like being quite irrational, and always being in like go mode and unable to rest and relax, or the opposite, feeling frozen, unmotivated and detached, craving control over food, routines or situations, and avoiding things because everything just feels too much. And at its core, a dysregulated nervous system makes it hard to feel safe, calm and grounded, even when nothing is actually wrong. And burnout and a dysregulated nervous system are closely linked, but they aren't the same thing. Burnout is what happens after long periods of ongoing stress. It's the state of feeling completely drained physically, mentally and emotionally because your body and mind haven't had enough rest and recovery. A dysregulated nervous system, on the other hand, is when your body's stress response, fight, flight or freeze, gets stuck and struggles to return to a calm, balanced state. This can leave you feeling constantly on edge, anxious or completely flat or numb. While burnout is the end result of chronic stress, a dysregulated nervous system is what happens in your body as it tries, and usually fails, to cope with that stress. The two often go hand in hand. Long-term nervous system dysregulation can lead to burnout, and burnout can make it harder for your nervous system to reset and feel safe again. So, what is driving this burnout and nervous system dysregulation? And the truth is, it's often not you, it's the world that we are living in. Modern day motherhood puts women under pressure like never before. We're expected to raise children, often without the village we once had. Like, I wish we had a village now. I am literally, I don't know about anybody else, but I am literally craving like connection, real life connection with women, especially since COVID and like working online and being at home with Hallie. I miss that. I wish there was a village. Maybe I'll make a village. But work, keep up with the house, stay fit, be the fun parent, have a social life and somehow hold it all together, often on little sleep and no support. Hustle culture glorifies being busy, productive and doing it all. Rest is seen as lazy, slowing down feels like failure. We're constantly told to push harder, achieve more and never stop, and if we're tired or struggling we feel like it's our fault. And the reality, women aren't made for this pace, this pressure or this level of constant stress. Our bodies and nervous systems evolved for connection, community and rhythm, not 24/7 stimulation, juggling endless tasks and always being on. There's a mismatch between what we need and what modern life demands, leaving so many women stuck in survival mode, exhausted, anxious, overwhelmed and wondering why they don't feel like themselves anymore. And that is just exactly how I've been feeling, to be completely honest, but I am definitely on the other side of it now, and these are things that you can do if any of them resonate with you to recover from burnout. So burnout recovery is all about rest, nourishment and gradually rebuilding your energy. It takes time, but small consistent steps make a huge difference. So prioritise rest and sleep. Make proper rest a non-negotiable. Give your body and mind the chance to recharge, and this can look like even just going and lying down for 10-20 minutes and just not doing anything. No phone, no distractions. Even putting your legs up the wall like can massively help, like bring some calm into your body. Just taking time where you can to rest, getting to bed on time, maybe supplement with magnesium ashwagandha before bed to improve the quality of your sleep. Setting clear boundaries, and this might be something that you struggle with, but just being okay with saying no to things that don't serve you or don't serve your basically highest good right now. To be okay with saying no and not people pleasing, and reduce unnecessary demands and protect your time and your energy. Focus on low stress movements, so swapping punishing workouts or challenging workouts for gentle walks, yoga, or even stretching at first, or even nothing. Like I haven't done anything for 2 weeks, and even yesterday I woke up and said to Jake, God, this is the first time I've actually woken up and I actually feel rested today. So, and then you can add your workouts and things back in when you are feeling like I am today, when you've got natural energy to give. Making sure that you are fueling your body well. Making sure that you're eating enough calories, so I'd recommend that you are eating at maintenance, making sure that your meals are balanced, they're regular, they're every 3 to 4 hours, with a big focus on whole foods, protein, fibre and healthy fats for nourishment. And do one small joyful thing each day, and try and find like the joy in just the little things, like lighting a candle, lighting an incense stick, having a lovely bubble bath, maybe like opening a book and like smelling a book, or really enjoying like your lovely cup of coffee in the morning. Like really start to connect with these small moments and be intentional with them, and be present with them as well, because a lot of the time we can rush through life and not be present with anything and wonder why we don't feel like connected, or why we don't feel joy from things, and it's because we're not allowing ourselves to sit and actually be with the moment and enjoy it. So just do one small thing each day that brings you joy. Speaking of doing one small thing for yourself that brings you joy, I got a puppy yesterday, no, on Sunday. I have been dying for a dog. Here's me going off on one of my tangents now, but I feel like it's relevant. So I had a dog called Bailey, and I had him for 6 years. There's still a highlight on my Instagram called Baby Bailey, and he was honestly like the love of my life. Like I am an animal person through and through, and I just loved him so much. And when I had Hallie, he become a completely different dog. Like when I brought her home, he couldn't even look at her, and he just didn't accept her in the pack at all. And I was thinking maybe he just needs time to like get used to her, and maybe he just needs some time to adjust. But as time went on, like things got gradually worse, and he'd start like growling at her. He even like tried to bite her a few times. And I tried to work with like a behaviour therapist. I tried to work with trainers. I spent so much money, and like everyone just said to me, like you're gonna have to crate him, and he's gonna have to basically live in a separate room, because they'll never out train that. He doesn't accept it in the pack. And I was like, I'm not going to put him in a crate because he's never been crated. He's in my bed. He was the baby, slept on the pillow next to me. And then, yeah, he just got worse. So I ended up having to rehome him, because it was just putting like Hallie in danger. And as a mum, like my responsibility is to keep her safe. And she weren't safe with him around. And it was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever had to do in my entire life. Like I still to this day cry over it now. Like I've still got pictures of him, yeah, because like I literally like I loved him so much. And it was over a year ago now that I rehomed him, and he's gone to a lovely family, and he's so happy. But like that broke my heart. Like that literally broke me as a person, and I don't think I was ever the same after that. And it was a big part of my life that massively changed. Like the one thing that brought me so much joy was going out for a walk with him, no phone, in nature, just listening to bird song, breathing, and I loved it. I loved seeing him happy. That made me happy, and I don't know why that's making me feel emotional even thinking about that. And when that went away, I was just like, and even especially when Jake's away and like Hallie had gone to bed, and I was just like, oh, where's my little mate? Like I craved it so much, and that was a big part of my life that was missing. And then we did actually last year get another dog, which I was so happy about, but then we had to take her back to breeder, because I actually didn't share this on social media. I actually shared that I got a new dog, and then I got quite a bit of negative comments from people online saying, just a lot of negativity from people about me rehoming Bailey, and then also getting a new dog, and then obviously I had to rehome, and not rehome, but I had to take this one back. I thought, I'm not even sharing this on social media because I actually can't even cope with this. But basically we took her to the vet, and she had issues that we didn't know about when we bought her, and we had to take her back to breeder, and they took her back off us. And again, my heart was broken even more, so I was just like, I actually can't even do this to myself. And I didn't share it on social media, so I thought, God, I can't share this because I'll get even more crap, and I'm just not in the headspace for it. And that is the downside to social media. People just judge, and I actually don't receive a lot of negative comments on social media, but I did through this, and I was just like, you have a lot of the people who comment, and they don't even have a clue what I'm going through, so they're just judging based off their own opinions. And so yeah, I haven't actually shared that I've got a new dog on social media, but this is Max, so for anyone that's watching on YouTube, you'll get to see him. And Max is a little Morkie, so he's a cross between a Maltese and a Yorkshire Terrier, and just look at him, I can't even deal. He is the loveliest little dog ever, and he's just so gorgeous. He loves Hallie, and he's just fitted right in to our life. So I'm just buzzing. I feel like I've got a big part of me back. So yeah, that's one small joyful thing that I done for myself, was get a dog. So yeah, sorry, tangent there, but bit of a backstory. Coming back to what we can do to recover from burnout is talk about it. Share how you're feeling with someone you trust. Like, I tried to explain this to Jake over and over, and he got it, and he tried and like help with the mental load and things, but how I was feeling, he couldn't understand it. So it wasn't until I went and worked with a therapist that they put into words how I was exactly feeling, and someone understood me, and I was like, thank God. Like, and then we've been working through it, and I feel so much better. So recovery happens when you give yourself permission to slow down and rest. And how to regulate your nervous system. So regulating your nervous system helps bring your body out of fight, flight or freeze and back into balance. So you can do like deep belly breathing, trying something like box breathing, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4 and exhale for 4. Hold for 4 and continue this rhythm for a few minutes. You can ground yourself in the present moment by using your senses, noticing 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 you can smell and 1 you can taste. Daily gentle movements such as walking, stretching, swaying, even like shaking. Movement helps release stored stress, even dancing. My therapist is called Just Lids on Instagram, and she's an amazing dancer, and I love watching her dance. And she gets a lot of she does a lot of movement with dance and expression and releasing hips and things. So go and give her a follow, and watch how she talks about this stuff in a lot of detail, because she's brilliant at this. Cold water exposure. This may feel too much, but for some people a splash of cold water on the face or a quick cold shower can help reset the system. For me, when I was really dysregulated, I couldn't think of nothing worse than a cold shower, so everyone's different. Creating routine, a predictable rhythm to your day helps the nervous system feel safe. So what I've actually done is I've created a plan for the house, a plan for in terms of like the washing, meals, food chopping, cleaning, so that I can stay on top of things. And reduce stimulants like caffeine, social media scrolling and constant noise that can keep your system on high alert. I couldn't have the radio on while Jake was talking to me because I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm actually going to combust. I couldn't have the telly on whilst Hallie was like playing with things, because it was like, oh, my body is just hating this at the minute. Everything was just like, this is too much. Even someone speaking loudly to me, I'd be like, oh, please just lower your voice. Like, I'd be like jumping. I'd feel like my insides were getting shocked when someone had raised their voice. So yeah, the key is consistency. Small nervous system practices done daily help your body learn how to feel safe and calm again. And also, for like working with a therapist or a yoga teacher or a meditation teacher or a breathwork coach to actually understand what feeling calm and rested feels like. Because when I get, like, it's completely different to just lying there in bed. A calm, regulated state is so different to that. So if you've never experienced that, I'd highly recommend looking into it and working with someone to guide you to that space. And why it's important. So regulating your nervous system, recovering from burnout is so important because it's the foundation of everything. Your energy, your mood, your ability to think clearly, make good decisions, show up for yourself and others. And when your nervous system's stuck in survival mode and you're burnt out, your body's constantly pumping out stress hormones. This can leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, overwhelmed or numb, and over time it impacts your physical health too. From poor digestion to sleep issues to hormone imbalances and a weakened immune system. So by actively working to regulate your nervous system and recover from burnout, you're giving your body permission to feel safe again. You're teaching it how to switch off the alarm system, move out of fight or flight and return to a calm, steady state where healing, fat loss, strength building, clear thinking and true well-being can actually happen. Without this, no amount of diet and exercise or productivity hacks will stick because your body will constantly be fighting an internal battle. And this is where the work that helps you feel like you again. Strong, resilient and in control of your life. So I hope that you have found today's episode useful. And the main reason I wanted to share this is because I wanted to create awareness around burnout and a dysregulated nervous system because it's real. And it's something that is actually happening and can actually happen, and it can have detrimental effects on your health if it's not acknowledged and basically healed, given the time, energy and space to heal, because it can affect everything from your physical health to your mental health to also like the family dynamics and at home with your partner. And yeah, and I feel like it's something that so many women are struggling day to day with, just trying to do the juggle and trying to do it all with a smile on their face, but even secretly they're drowning, and they want to be the happy present mum and they want to be the happy bubbly partner, but they just feel like I've got nothing to give, and they're just being called miserable and snappy and moaner and nagging, and it's like I'm actually just at capacity, and really underneath all that I just need someone to just hold me and help me and take this load off me. So you're not alone. There's so many other women that are going through things like this, and if this episode resonated, my DM's are always open. And something that I'm doing now to make sure that I stay in this state is continuing working with my therapist on like going back years and releasing like old patterns and trauma and things like that. I'm also working with the yoga therapist to like find a state of calm and work on my mindset once a week. I am just training 2 or 3 times a week, short strength sessions, nothing intense, and also listening to my body. Like if I'm waking up and I'm not feeling rested and I'm on edge, then I'm not going to train that day. And even though I've got goals, and like my goal at the moment is to reverse diet and to build muscle tissue, but my health and my well-being is more important than that at this moment in time. And I personally think that if you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. Like, them goals can always wait, but your health can't. So making sure you're prioritising the right things and prioritising yourself and your health and your well-being, because you matter. And if you don't take the time to put yourself first and prioritise yourself, then no one else is going to do that for you. You have to do that. And don't feel guilty for doing that either. Like, you matter. You and your health and your mental health matters. And by you taking, like, prioritising yourself, everybody else benefits. You're a better mum, you're a better partner, you're a happier person all round. So it's actually not selfish. If anything, it is selfless to prioritise yourself and heal and get yourself feeling better again. So yeah, I know I went off on a few tangents, as I always do. That is just me and my definitely undiagnosed ADHD brain. Maybe I should call this podcast Living with Undiagnosed ADHD or something like that. But I'm going to love and leave yous. I'm going to leave that there. I hope you found this episode useful. If you did, and you are a woman that is struggling with burnout, with nervous system dysregulation, and you're in an internal battle between wanting to achieve your goals but feeling stuck and not knowing how to do it because you're physically burnt out and have no energy to do that, then drop me a message. This is something that I work with so many women on, and we can help basically bring you back to regulation and achieve your goals in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming, and we can work with strategies that remove the overwhelm and the pressure. So have a gorgeous day. Thank you so much for listening. If you did listen and you did enjoy this episode, then let me know in the comments, send me a message like this, give me a follow on my podcast or on YouTube, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye everyone.